splashy water slides.
Buckets and bull swish, 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 buckets and bull swish.
Soon.
All right, everybody, welcome to what I think is probably going to be one of the most exciting episodes. We have the man, the myth, the legend. I'm probably going to say the most hated and loved character on the court. We got Mr. Carlos Henry. I think we know him as Los. Um, how are you doing, man? How are you feeling on this Sunday?
Man, I'm always great on a bad day in my life.
Okay. Now let me tell you this. You don't know this, right? But let me tell you, we filmed two podcasts already, and I saw you in the chat the last time be like, yo, I'm catching strays. You have been mentioned in every podcast thus far, right? And I just think it just goes to the love and the hate that you actually bring out on the court, right? But it also the energy of you being like one of those biggest trash talkers, right? So I'm gonna not throw shade at you, but I'm imagining you must have been teased or abused as a child, right? Where did all this teasing and trash talking come from?
Nah, she's abused as a child, man. Actually, I was a very popular kid. What you mean? I kind of just fit in. I fit in with every group, man. Everybody used to love me, to be honest with you. So I just talk trash because you feel me. I just love it, man. I love the game, man. I'm competitive. I say that. I've always been competitive, so that's really what it is.
Well, I'll tell you this. You don't know this about me, but I think one of the similarities that we have is that we have a younger brother that's bigger than I am, right? My
Mm-hmm.
brother, I think, is 6'10", 6'11", right? So like, I kind of laugh at him in certain ways, but like that kind of competitive kind of helps a little bit, right? Now, do you feel like you get your competitive drive from like going back and forth sparring with your brothers or brothers, right? Or does that come from
Mm-hmm.
somewhere else?
Nah, man, it's just my competitive drive comes from more of like the way I grew up, to be honest with you, right? So I, for you guys listening into the podcast and all that stuff like that, I grew up in Wilmington, Delaware, and I also lived in Philly for a little bit too. So, I mean, growing up, I mean, you had to be. I mean, I started hooping because you had to hoop. To be honest with you, everybody around me was either playing basketball or they was rapping or they was, in the streets. So I just decided to hoop. You know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I started kind of late. The first time I actually played on an organized basketball team was when I was like 14 or 15 years old. And other than that, bro, I would just watch it, and I'm just like, okay, cool. I just tried out. I made the team. I was like, all right, guess I'll hoop then. You know what I mean? And I was just playing like that, and I ended up, eventually making varsity and playing college. And I was like, okay, I love the game. Now it was like at a point I was like, oh, you know what? Maybe I could try to be professional or try to be professional with this. But then I was like, I really don't love it that much to the point where it's like I'm gonna give everything and do this. But
Yeah.
um and because I was going to try, I was like, yo, shoot, I might as well try to, you know what I mean? But then I was like, that's not really what my dream was. But yeah, that's where the competitive nature came from, bro. Like everybody around me talking trash,
Mm.
in the hood, that's what they do, bro. We talk, we hoop. That's all we do. We
Yeah.
talk, we hoop. It could be hooping. Listen, we play chess, I'm gonna talk trash. I do it all the time. You
Okay, okay.
freaking walk in, I'm gonna talk trash. You know
Okay.
what I mean? We could be freaking swimming, I'm gonna talk trash. Man, even when I was running track, I was talking trash. That's just me, bro. Just competing.
Man, you just sound like an all-around athlete, man. I was ready to clown you with playing chess, but like honestly, let me tell you, I love this, what I call like the new age brother, right? And I
Hmm.
say this because I'm a little bit older than you, right? But let me tell you, when we was listening to music, it was what? DMX, Jay-Z, we all wanted to be a one-dimensional thug, right? But
Hmm.
as I see younger kids, just a couple years younger, you guys have different type of artists and images of what it can be to be comfortable. Y'all not just chasing that thug perspective. So playing chess is cool, right? And I give credit to stuff like different black identities, like what? I'm gonna say Kanye West, I'm gonna say Drake. Not that they're
Hmm.
soft or anything, because you're not gonna press them. You know what I mean? It's not like
Yeah,
you're
for sure.
different, right? But it's just you guys don't we don't have to sit back and think that the gutter is the only image that we represent. And honestly, I think you do that the best way, man. You definitely do that the best way I see. Um, so let me ask you this, man, because I'm kind of interested in this, like how you kind of do this dynamic of I'm gonna use Los and then Mr. Henry, right? Have you ever been in a situation where Los has come out when you supposed to be professional, like like a little
Come on,
slip
man.
of like coming out like in the workplace, and you just like, you know what? Like you just want to handle it the way that you want to handle it, but you kind of slip or catch yourself being like, I'm at work. I got to do this that differently.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest with you, this happened more recently, right? So one of the I work at a company, one of the leaders in the company, or like one of the managers that under me, because I oversee like 8 stores.
Yeah.
He um he was upset because I'm just wiping down the counters and I'm like, yo, this stuff is dirty. So he started making little comments and stuff like that. And then at one point, I just got tired of it. And I'm just like, yo, man, you all bark, bro. I don't see no bite in you. Then I was just like, you know what? Calm down. Because you know what I mean? This is something, it might get to a point where I'm like, yo, we might have to, meet up after work, you know what I mean? And we can handle this real quick and we can go back and we act like everything is regular. But no, I think, bro, it comes out a lot. But then, to be honest with you, I found a way to mix them both together to even better. So I've been in sales since I was like 18. I used to knock on doors and sell knives, knock on doors, sell vitamins. I was selling phones. I've pretty much been selling everything for a while, right? So about
Yeah.
the last 10 years. And to be honest with you, having that other part allows people to feel more comfortable. It allows them to drop down their guard. Like, they might come in and they see like a brother dressed up or, I might be dressed up with a button up and all that stuff. And we'll just, I'll say sir and things of that nature just because I am respectful. I'm not ignorant, you know what I mean, or rude in any way. But then I also might just be like, yo, man, we start talking about basketball, like, yo, man, the Sixers, man, they kill the freaking Boston. You know what I mean? I'll just come out and just be myself. And that allows people to kind of lower that guard and see, like, oh, you know what? Like, he can kind of like, okay, cool. I didn't know that was like that. Like, and they'll say all the time, you network. They're like, dang, like my sales representatives, they'll say, yo, like I read some of your book, and I'm like, yo, I didn't even realize like you grew up that way. You don't even seem that way when you're here. And I'm like, bro, listen, I can. That's in my. I do know when to turn it off and how to make people comfortable around it.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So let me tell you, I think one of the things when I watch your game, I used to do, I think it was like the shit talking summary from back then, right? And I always come at everybody, right? But I'll tell you, I think you're kind of a difficult person for me to kind of crap on, right? And actually, what I've always said, and I'll tell you this, I feel good that when I talk to people, they're just like, I'm never going to say that to his face, but yeah, right? One of the things that I would sit back and be like, Los is probably one of the most well-rounded players, right? I think you drive relentlessly. I think the fact, and I'm gonna talk about this a little bit later, you in boxing, you are not scared to put your body in harm's way and go through whatever that contact is, right? You fast as lightning, right? So it's like you on both sides of the court, right? And you know what? I hate to say this a little bit. I'm gonna take it away from you, right? But you got a little bit of court vision as well. You know what I mean? I think you understand the
Mhm.
roles that people play. I'll be honest, I know some of the older guys like me that might be a step behind. When Los talk about I'm going to slide, I'm going to bring 3 or 4 people on the next day. I wake up that morning and be like, honey, I could stay in bed today. They're not going to miss me. But I think in terms of I want to speak to that. Like, what do you think has helped you be a well-rounded player? And then criticizing others on the court, right? Who are some people that you think are like well-rounded players? They might not be the best scorers, may not be the defensively, but who represents like some other well-rounded players from your perspective at the Y, not
Okay.
the NBA?
Yeah, yeah, no, for sure, for sure, for sure. What helped me be more well-rounded kind of was, to be honest with you, the way I've been even just trained and embodied, right? When I started first playing basketball, I started learning from this guy's name is Duran Highland. So he's Bones' uncle. You know what I
I
mean?
heard the name. Oh my goodness. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
so Tink, yeah, so Tink, and yeah, I used to hoop with Bones too. I'll be hooping him at the Newcastle Pal, stuff like that too. So like, he will always put this idea of like positionless basketball. Like just because you're 6 foot doesn't mean you can't get down there and get a rebound. Like he would be upset if you're not rebounded. Yo, why aren't you cutting to the basket? Like you know what I mean? Just because you can knock down the three or two, don't mean you need to stand at the three. You know, playing defense. That was the biggest thing. Like, yo, if you ain't play defense, he would be like, yo, like, what are you doing? Like, he'll make it sit there and do defensive slides and just get in the most shape. Like, you should be, the smaller you are, the more well-rounded your game should be. You should be dang near perfect in everything,
Yeah.
right? And that's why, more throughout the later years, I started to really develop a jumper because I was like, yo, like, you really got to be well-rounded, like, completely. So that's really where it came from, right? It's just I want to win. So each thing might be a different time for me to, I might have to act different. Like, if I'm playing with like Paris, for example, I know he's a heavy slasher, but I play with him in the hack. I know he's gonna kick the ball out to me. So with him, I might just be a catch and shoot dude, play some defense, you know what I mean? And then once I get hot, I'll go off. But then when I play with other guys where I might play with like a Jose or something, I know, all right, you know what, I gotta do everything. You know what I mean? Like I
Yeah,
gotta go hard, I gotta score,
yeah,
I gotta, but I
yeah,
don't have to score. I just care about winning the game.
yeah. That's
Um,
You
you
know
know,
what?
so
It's funny. You mentioned Paris. This is another issue. Like, it's like you try to talk trash, but I'm on a court watching. If I'm not playing, I'm watching. And let me tell you, I watch. I don't see anybody play Paris as well on defense than you do. And it's surprising
mm,
because it's like, no disrespect. You'll probably take the disrespect. It don't matter. But I think Paris is like a freak. He is a freak athlete. You know what I mean? Like the way that
for
he
sure he
just
is, yeah.
dribbles, right? He's a freak athlete. But you are right there. Like you're right there with him. You're reaching for the ball when he's driving it. And I'm like, it's just so funny because like it's there. Like, do you think that comes from you knowing his game or you just ready?
Well, for one, I'm always ready for me. Whoever talking trash, I'm there. Like, what you mean? I'll guard from Nick all the way down to freaking Preston. I don't care about from height to size, but I don't care. I'll guard Shaq. I don't care. Like, I'm gonna do that. But also too, like, I grew up with like Paris and Preston. Like, you know what I mean? Like Preston, when he was growing up, that was like one of my closest friends. So his little brother was just always around. He was just small. He was just way smaller back then. You know what I mean? Then he got like a growth spurt out of nowhere. He got freaking looking like Debo. I don't know. I'm like, what the heck? Like, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I think it's a mixture of kind of both, to be honest with you. But yeah, I'm always ready. I always read people's tendencies when I'm playing. I'm like, okay, like this guy is, he gonna do this, or I know Paris might drop the shoulder, so I might pull the chair a little bit, and then that way I'll reach at the perfect time. So yeah, I think it's just a mixture of both.
And I'll tell you this. The other issue is this. I know you box, right? So which
Mhm.
happened first? Boxing, basketball? Tell us a little bit about you in boxing.
Yeah, so I boxed, but it wasn't like I started doing that like later, right? Like it was just I was just wanting to get in shape. And then I like to do like I'll be honest with you, I just like to try stuff, to be honest with you. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this. Cause I even did Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu too for a little bit also. So Shaq is actually, I don't know if you're ever gonna get on this pod, but Shaq actually is really good at BJJ. But I did that. Basketball definitely came first, but like as far as me being an athlete, like I said, I started late. Like I did not play any sports at all or nothing. I was kind of just chilling. Like I legitimately was chilling until I was like 14, 15 years old. And I was just like, all right, let me just try something. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna go to high school.
Right.
I'm gonna just try something out. And I just started trying different things. And I was like, all right, basketball came first. And I started running track. And then after that, I started boxing a little bit. So I mean, yeah, I boxed. I didn't do no like amateur fights or anything like that. It was just mainly just I would train at TJ Boxing Academy, which I recommend in Delaware. He
All
is
right, all
probably
right.
like one of the best when it comes to teach people how to box, no matter age group, skill level, anything like that. But yeah, I just bro, literally, I'm telling you, I just try swimming. You know what I mean? I would swim, not like competitively, but I even forget if I get over the swimmer, I'm gonna talk trash to them like, yo, bro, I cook you right now. Like, it's just how I am now.
I can see you being the first person getting a technical foul on a swim team. Like,
Yeah.
and you know what? Let me ask you this. Are you aware of this? Because like I said, I think this even goes back to like before, right? I think before when you got married, we was talking a little trash like, yo, we ain't never gonna see Los no more. He getting married. But I remember way back then, you was the only player that at the Y that like I would go home and come back like I got something for him. And the funny thing is this, it's not like I'm not talking trash like I had like a bucket to score on you, but you steal the ball from me, Los, more than anybody in the history of my life. It is frustrating as all hell, right? It is so funny
Mhm.
because it's like you'll sit back and hit me, and I want to be like act like a little baby and be like, "Yo, he hit my body," but like that's good bump. It's basketball. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I'll tell you, I don't think there's been anybody at the YMCA, anywhere I've played, that I go in there thinking like, look, I got to get a new move to make sure I can compete with this individual. So you've been
Mhm.
my Achilles for me, which is the reason why I'm a little upset because I know you don't back down from anybody, right?
Mhm.
But I still want this 1v1, Los. I still want this 1v1, Los, right?
You gonna hurt your back or something playing around against me, bro.
Let me ask you this though, because I want this shit, because I'm gonna make it happen. We're gonna talk this trash. You gonna have to like not duck it eventually, right?
Mhm.
So if we play to 15, right? What do you think the score will be?
I think you would be lucky to score.
Lucky to All right. So you know what though? Again, that's how I go into it then, right? If you telling me you think it's 15-0, then when I got 15-8, 15-9, then hey, I already won. I already won. So I appreciate you setting the bar so low.
I don't take moral victories. I take real.
At my age, I have to, brother. All right. So the other thing I was going to say is this. I'm not sure if you're aware of it or not, but the other thing that makes I tell people this too, right? And they just be like, yeah, Los does play defense different. I think a lot of people swipe for the ball, right?
Mhm.
Are you aware that you literally just punch at the ball when you're guarding a defender?
Yeah, yeah, I do, and it's
Yep.
because I seen a long time ago. I seen this video from Marcus Smart, and then I was
Yeah.
just like, all right, I'm just try it, and then
Yeah.
now I know, like, oh, all right, I know how to get
Yes.
it now.
There's no, I mean, first you fast enough already, right? But there's
Hmm.
no wind up or anything. And it's just like, what? And I'm just like, yo, the ball is gone, right? And
Hmm.
it's just interesting because I sit back and look at that, just trying to make sure that you can sit back and play and give people the advantage. Because, like I said, I think the love and the hate that Los gets, it really comes from you being, like I said, like a well-rounded player, man. It's
Hmm.
crazy. And honestly, let me ask you this. Yesterday, I think we were just playing. Yesterday was Saturday, right?
Hmm.
What was one highlight play that you felt like you did that would like kind of stuck out above anything? You remember what that was? Or does anything stick out to you? That's another question. When you
It really
play,
doesn't, bro. I just be going, bro. I'm telling you, like, I really just be going. Like, it'd be like, shoot. I remember one play that kind of stuck out. It was a rebound, I think. Somebody shot the ball, he missed. I just like jumped up over him, caught it, and I just like just did a little quick putback.
that is actually, that's exactly the take that I was talking about. Let me tell you, you know me, I'm on the side hating, right? So I'm
Mm.
just like, I want to see Lowe's have a bad game. I want to see him trip, somebody make him fall. This guy came, it just looked nice, right? And I was just like, I'm on the side, like just gritting. I'm not sure if you looked at me or not, but I'm just like, yeah, that's disgusting. That was disgusting. It was not, because you think about it. You think about you being graceful. No, you think about you being fast, you being tough. That was
Mm.
completely different. You jumped over everybody. You caught it and it was back graceful. And I was like, yeah, that was a little frustrating. But I'll tell you this. I like how you said that because I think that's the difference between some people in the game, right? Some people hold on to moments, right? Where others, it's just like, it's just a moment in time. Just keep going. So that's
Mm.
actually good that you're not sticking on it, which is probably what I need to work on. Because I'll sit back and
Yeah.
have one play and be like, yo, I don't want to play no more. I shouldn't be on the court, blah, blah, blah.
Well, well, what stopped me from thinking about stuff like that is I was listening to the Gilbert Arenas podcast, and he was like saying, like, what game are you going to make 100% of your shots?
Yeah.
It's like it doesn't really happen. And then what game are you gonna miss every single shot you took? Like, so you can't hang your head on one bad play, one good play. You know what I mean? Like, it's basketball. It's gonna have mistakes. Like one day I might go in the gym and spark it. I think Saturday, we in the gym and we were losing like every game at first. I'm just like, all right, all right. And then we went on a win streak for like 2, 3 games, and then we started losing again. Like one game I wasn't making no jumpers. Then one game I'm stopping it, popping. I'm like, okay, cool. Like it's feel good. Like so I just never hold my head too high or too low on it on any part of it. Pretty much that's where I go.
Now, you know what? Let me ask you this. Since you pop off, I know people respond to your trash talk so differently. I've always sat back and
Hmm.
said, Los is the meanest, nicest person I know, right?
Sure.
But has your trash talk ever got you to a situation, maybe you had to throw hands or whatever, but to a point where you just like, you know what? Like this person is definitely not taking it the right way. Has your trash talk got you into a bad situation in any sport?
Yeah, yeah. It's gotten me to a situation where people might have not responded the way, but then to be honest with you, I really haven't cared.
Yeah, yeah. I hear
It's
that. I
like,
hear
yo, what are you like? Are you really about to be this mad about basketball game? Like, even when I'm playing, it may look like I'm upset, and I might be, but then it's like afterwards, I really just forget about it. But it's just me when I'm in the game. I'm just in the mood. Like I'm like, all right, bet. Like I'm just talking trash to try to like get to you. Where it's like, all right, I really talk. Recently, I started figuring out that I'm like, all right, I talk trash, especially when someone started talking to me. That just makes me want to play harder. I'm like, all right, bet. Come on, let's go then. Let's go then. You know what I mean? And then before I used to talk a lot of trash when I got tired. I'm like, yo, I'm tired. All right, let me just talk trash because it's gonna get in their head. They're gonna start missing jumpers, and
yeah.
it works for some people and stuff like that. But others it don't. But nah, man, it never it got to a point where people have gotten really upset, and then they've been mad and tried to do that, but then it never really gets to anywhere because it's like, bro, anybody, like if you really sit back and think about it as a grown man, even as a kid, even in high school, what I mean, you're gonna fight me over a basketball game because you're mad that I'm talking trash to you, bro. Like, come on, how old are we? You know what I mean? Like,
Hear that.
I ain't hurt you. I ain't talking about your family. I haven't talked about your girl or anything like that. It's literally on the court. Like it literally just I'm keeping it on the I'm not I
Yeah.
don't ever say nothing. I at least try to my best. There's times where I have said something, what I mean? I got really up and I'm like, oh, you know what? And I apologize if I ever went too far after someone went too far with me. But other than that, it's like I never would go too far to the point where it's like I'm disrespecting you as a man
Yeah.
or your character or anything like that.
So Los has never said his girl tastes like Cheerios.
No,
Have
I'll
you heard
never say
that?
anything about nobody. No, no, I would never say anybody. Oh, bro, that's crazy, man. That's just
Yeah.
like why? You know what I mean? Like I said, it's a basketball game. Like, if
Mm,
anything, I'm just gonna talk about your game, right?
mm,
Like, you know what I mean? I'm gonna keep saying you suck, and eventually it's gonna get in your head. You're gonna start thinking about it. Then you're gonna start missing shots, and I'm gonna be like, see, look, I'm just start
yeah.
saying stuff, and it's gonna start building that. Now your mind is gonna think, oh, I suck. Like it's gonna start building cases to why you trash. I'm like, yeah, bro, look, you can't even make a layup, bro. You right there.
Now I need to ask you this because I swear on the sidelines we figured that you must be a schizophrenic basketball player. What is your favorite team? How do you come to the Y in Rocket shorts, 76ers shirts, and walking out with some other team jersey? Like, what is your favorite team? Let's put it on the
Bro,
record.
honestly, I just put whatever I went on a hoop. I'm just hooping. I don't really care how I look. But before. I've always been like a player kind of person, like players.
Yeah.
But I would say Sixers. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But players, I always just like players. You know what I mean? That's just always been my thing. Right
Mm.
now, like a big player of mine, or I'm a big fan of Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm a huge fan of him. But
Yeah.
like other than that, it's like I've always been a fan of players, but yeah, Sixers pretty much. I just kind of adopted them. I'm a huge Eagles fan, so
Okay. Hey, you pay attention to what Anthony Edwards did when he's getting blown out the other day? They talking about him in the
yeah.
media. He
Hey
walked
man, they
over
gonna
to the
talk.
bench. How do you feel about that? Would you ever do that?
No, I would wait till the game was over, but I also am not mad at him for doing it because he was getting out the game anyway. LeBron has done it before too. You know what I mean? It's
Mm.
like you're gonna say when the Warriors was beating them and he went over there, shook everybody's hand. Like it's just a respect thing. I don't see nothing wrong with it. Me personally, I wouldn't have because I'd have been tight still, but then I still would have been man enough to go over there after the game and be like, all right, okay, for me, respect to y'all and all that stuff like that moving forward. But yeah.
All
Like I
right.
said, I never leave it. Everything every trash talk on stuff like that, I leave it on the basketball court. Other than that, it's like, yo, you're a human being outside of this, man. Like, and first of all, also think too, like, yo, none of us going to the NBA. We ain't getting paid for this. Like, calm down, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, and I think that's the issue too. I kind of see the one thing about the game, I think at the Y is you could see how I think people use basketballs for different things. Like my wife tells me all the time, it's like my vent. I'm like not as relaxed if I don't get basketball, right? But
For
you got
sure.
other people there, like, and I hate to say it, there are some people I feel like not even in their prime did they ever even have a chance of playing college,
Oh
right?
yeah, for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
But basketball to them, they look like they got a scout out there watching them. Like it just means so much more to them. Right. But whatever that drive is, it is a great release for like everybody. I like how it brings all of us together to sit back and play. We got our quirks and our however we're using it, whatever basketball is our therapy for, it just works. It just works.
It
Now,
does.
I'm personally mad at you, and I think you know why. Because I would have loved, right? First, I would have loved for you to actually be in the tournament, right? But let me tell you, I think it would have been very interesting. We would still be talking about you right now if you jumped in late, I don't know, semifinals, the finals, and sit back and finish that. Because you know your team, which I called and dubbed it Team Jose, since you kind of backed out of it, right? But they was in the finals and Jose had no help. I can't imagine. Hopefully, this next tournament, we sit back and address some of the issues, whatever we have. We trying to get Los out in that court, right? Not
Yeah,
that you're going to take it.
yeah. I mean, the biggest thing for me was the one. It was like, bro, I struggle getting up at 5:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then 6 o'clock on Saturday. You and me do this on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday too. I was like, bro, I'm not gonna lie, it's strong. And then I'm being honest with you, my team was kind of crazy. Now, also, I'm just like, you know what? I'm also cool with it because then it's kind of like one of those things. Well, I hate losing regardless, but it's like,
Yeah,
damn, like we lose, ain't nobody gonna be like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, but it's like, bro, my team is like, I was handicapped. I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? I was like, this is crazy, like, you know what I mean? And then you got people like freaking uh James and Quinn and all them talking trash. I'm like, what's going on here, bro? Like,
yeah, yeah. You know what? I think the biggest issue I had with it, and it's not even an issue really, but I think Shaq might have said it, right? Or like I know it was one of the I put all y'all young guys in the same category for the most part, right? But we tried to do everything we could to not build a super team, and it just fell. Like I think with Quinn, James, and Bash, that was just tough on another layer of tough,
uh,
and then another layer
if
of
you
tough.
put me, Shaq, and Paris on the same team, we blow that team out.
You're right, but there's no. But think about this. Think about this. that is what I think we was focused on. And I heard that criticism. We was trying to get y'all not together, and as a result of like trying to spread that talent out,
Y'all put semi-decent people on the
yeah,
same.
something else happened. Now it was random the way that it worked
It
out,
was, yeah, it was.
but yeah, it just happened that way. And I think that I take a lot of credit for it, right? Because I think the thing that I did to kind of get engagement was that game that where you could come in and be a captain, and no shade at the two people that were a captain, but I think at the time James had just came back, so I slept on his talent, right? But I let people compete for a captain
Talent.
position. Yeah, James Finney's.
No, because then
Yeah.
this is, cause I'll be honest with you, look, this is my thing with that, right? First of all, I
Uh-huh.
seen the clip, right? Bro
Yeah.
making faces when people saying, hold on. I'll be honest with you, I don't even like know him. You know what I mean? Like that. He don't really know me that well. And I'm not really too familiar with his game. The times I've seen it, he shoot 55 shots. Like, what are we talking about? Contested jumpers and stuff like that. And then it's like, and you making faces on me. Like, I've yet to see you, at least the times I played with him, sit down and play, move his feet, get a rebound. What's the one to say? Create for his other teams. I see him knock down some jumpers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
Seen
yeah.
him make some contested jumpers. But then, like I said, basketball is more than that, right?
Yes,
You know
yes,
what I
it is.
mean?
Yep.
It's way more than that, right? So this is like you making faces like, oh, but the same tier as Los. You're right. You should be making that face. You should be lower. What you mean? Like, what's good? Then this is my thing too, and I hope he's watching this too, right?
Oh, he will. I know they will. Trust me.
This is my thing too. Why you always coming on Mondays and Wednesdays? We come Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. You on there on Monday, Wednesdays playing with the practice squad, bro. What's going on?
Now,
Like yeah, no offense
I
to people that come on
resemble
Monday,
that
Wednesday.
remark.
My fault though. But not that people come on Monday and Wednesday, but Tuesday and Thursday, Saturday, 100% we got full.
Yeah.
Saturdays especially, we got some actual like talent in there. We got some people that's going bump and run and all stuff like that. Why are you coming on Monday and Wednesday and then making faces like, bro, you barely see me play. And the times you see me play, we have gave you belt every single time. Like I've been on the winning side every single time. I'm not saying I scored on you every single bucket.
Yeah.
That's just not my game. I never said I was a scorer. I never said I'm a primarily defender, but you just know you gonna feel my impact on there. You know what I mean? On the floor. I've yet to see you beat. I don't even think you've ever beaten me before, unless you probably had like a Shaq on your team or somebody else. You know what I mean? I've beaten you without Shaq. I've beaten you with, you know what I mean? Like, what's going on, bro?
You know what? Let me tell you, I'm not in the middle of y'all keeping track like that, but I will tell you this. I do think you're right. It's kind of a when you guys attend the Tuesday, Thursdays, because if I remember correctly, it wasn't 100% shade. I know we got in our feelings sometimes, but he was like, I don't necessarily know. I think that's a good matchup, right? He actually mentioned that he was talking about Shaq as well. I'm gonna be honest, Los. Like, I'm probably one of your number one and number two fans. When I've seen James get in there, I don't know if I would how I would call it. I think James has surprised me. He has surprised me. But like I say, if it ever happened, y'all line up, whether it's the twos or threes, I promise you I'll be there. And if y'all permit it, the camera gonna be rolling. It'll be a good game. I definitely slept on him. I definitely slept on him. But at the same time, I know what well-rounded is. And yeah, it'd be good. However format it comes. We're gonna make
Come
sure
on,
y'all
man.
match up.
Come on now, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, what? So I know he can, from what like I said, from what I've seen, I know he can shoot the ball. All right. So, but I've also know that myself, I can shoot the ball. When I get hot, it's like it gets pretty bad, right? Now, if you want to say he's more consistent as a shooter, I will even take that from the stuff that I've seen. I don't really know.
Yeah.
But then when you kind of go past that, what else is there? I'm 10 times more athletic. I'm a stronger defender. I'm stronger, period. I'm like, bro, like, what are we talking? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what are we talking about here?
Hey,
But
let
then
me
again,
tell you.
I still would never, if you said, oh, I would never still be like, James, like, shoot, like, bro, who are you? Like, what is going on, man? Like, come on now, stop it, bro, stop it.
I hear you. Now, here's the issue. We got the question about I actually didn't really ask you differently, right? But I feel like we're gonna take a month or two off. I got a vacation coming up and everything, right?
Mhm.
If we were to run this tournament back, right? What could we do? I definitely want to hear. I feel like you're the spokesman for the younger, more agile crowd. What could be done differently to get more engagement this time?
I think, see, the thing is this, right? I like the idea of random, but at the same time, I don't. I do like the idea. It's like, yo, you should. It sucks for everybody because of the idea of like, you know what I mean? You don't want to stack teams and stuff like that. I get that completely. But at the same time, it's like, that's also like where the competitiveness comes, right? And even then, even if you don't want to stack the teams and stuff like that, like we can always, because then look, this is what it does. If you don't, if you just allow people to actually pick their teams, right? Yeah, you're gonna have some people who are stacked up and good. Then you're gonna get some people who like you even seen Saturday, right? Like we picked teams, but I was like, yo, I'm gonna go on the other team, even though Shaq and Paris and Matt, not like the the other Matt,
Yeah,
the
yeah.
other one. Yeah, I mean, so like it still was like we still switched it up. And I was like, yo, I would rather be on a team where like I know you guys are clearly like have a better chemistry. But it's like I'm going just to be more competitive. You know what I mean? And then for the guys that don't get picked up on the teams with like a Shaq or a Paris or Press, like the other guys that don't like, like a Jose or something like that, right? Like, no offense, but now you kind of got more of a chip on your shoulder because you're like, yo, I gotta prove that, like, yo, I should have been. So you're gonna play harder. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
that's the one thing I think it is like, yo, you should allow people to actually do the ones that are going to be competitive. And then also too, I wouldn't split the games up so much. Maybe even just have them on the same day, right? Like for example, we know Saturday is a really popping day, right? You know everybody pretty much is gonna make it on Saturday. Let's just knock out the a couple of games before why because people never like even last Saturday, people didn't get there till 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
That's a whole 30, 40. These are 3-on-3 games. They ain't gonna take freaking an
Yeah.
hour to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let the people come there at 6, knock out the 3-on-3 game real quick, and it's a nice little warm up. Boom, now we get the running full. Now you like, you know what I mean? That's what I would do differently.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I think when I was looking at them, I recorded, I think the longest game was like 13 and a half minutes. Like they are quick, right? And I think, one thing we're talking about, we got the two courts, but for me, it was me there. I only had one camera, watching it. So there's it. And I like how you said that because Jared came at that. He was acting like a little spoiled child in the chat, right? With those shots at him. But like, let's do it on Saturday. And I'm like, you know what? I hear you. And actually, he knows this, but I sat back there, like I didn't want to get in some kind of like childish internet war. But every one of those little keyboard warriors texting, I had to sit back. I must have responded to him 3 or 4 times. I was like, you know what? Nah. Let me channel my Dr. Barnes, just look the other way and let him
Mhm.
go. And
Yeah.
so, but again, I hear that feedback. We're gonna try to sit back and do it a different way in the future.
No.
Now, I think I warned you a little bit, right? There's always going to be a little bit of shenanigans, the way that I do stuff, right? So one of the things I have is the current version of the tier list, right?
Mhm.
And what I
Mhm.
wanted to do is this. We're allowing people to comment on it and move it around. Because I think I look at this is what kind of started all of it, right? But with you being one of the organizers, right, even though you didn't participate in it, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to pick 2 people and move them up and or down, right? So looking at this right here, right? Who are